Hello, good morning and Assalamualaikum. So I'm your instructor for English for Police Patrol Officers course. My name is Maiduri. So for this video, I'm going to cover the first module of the course, which is asking for identification. Alright. So in your daily routine as a police patrol officer, okay, there are many instances where you will have to ask for identification to civilians, right? They may be people from Malaysia, or they might be foreigners who come to Malaysia. Okay, so there are many situations, there are many scenarios. For example, let's talk about drivers who exceed the speeding limit, or drivers who actually drink while under the influence of alcohol. Okay, or drivers who you would like to pull over due to some suspicious behavior. So these are the scenarios where you would normally ask for their identification to probe further, because as you know, as we understand, your task is to maintain peace and protect the country and the people. Okay, so let's look at module 1, asking for identification. So it is hoped that towards the end of this module, you would be able to ask identification using English. Okay, so now since we are asking for identification, right? So in English, we are going to use WH questions. So WH questions are normally questions we ask in order to get information. So we are going to use what, when, where, who, whom, which, whose, why, and how. Okay, so the reason why we use all these WH question tags are because they will not actually give you the yes or no answer. Okay, because the response that we expect to get is information. Okay, for example, question 1, where are you staying at the moment? Okay, so this question would require the other speaker to give us the information of where he is staying. So the answer here, I'm staying at my uncle's place in Selayang. So it gives you the information of where the person is staying at the moment. Okay, now let's go to the common phrases that we can use when asking for identification. Okay, first one. Okay, so you see someone who is acting a little bit suspiciously, and then you can actually approach the person, and what you can, you can start your conversation by saying, "Excuse me, sir, may I see some photo ID?" Or, in our Malaysian context, you would normally ask, "Sir, can I have your IC?" We call it IC, right? Okay, and perhaps if you see, the person that you are about to approach is a foreigner, right? Maybe he's an Arab, or he looks like a Japanese. Okay, so what you can ask is, "Excuse me, sir, can I see your passport?" Okay, I repeat, can I see your passport? Okay, or okay, once you have pulled over a car who has exceeded the driving speed limit, okay, so you can straight away ask, "Driving license, please. Driving license, please." Okay. Another way of asking for ID is, "Do you have your birth certificate?" Okay. Do you have your birth certificate? Okay. Another way is, maybe you would like to ask further questions to understand, or to get further information, just to confirm that, the person is actually free from any suspicious activity. So you can ask, "How long have you been in the country?" Okay, so you're just gathering information in order to understand, okay, if the person is a foreigner. And then you can also add, "Are you here for work or holiday?" Okay, because sometimes when you ask for ID, right, people would straight away feel that, have I done anything wrong? Okay, so you can actually follow up with this kind of question. How long have you been in the country? So just to make it like, engage in the conversation. Okay, do you have your passport or driving license with you? Okay, so this is another way for you to ask. Okay, so what will happen? How do you go about when the ID given by the person is not something acceptable, or maybe, alright, just maybe there's some error, or maybe the physical look of the documentation is, you know, it's too worn out, or the writing cannot be seen clearly, okay, or maybe there's a magnetic strip faulty. Okay, so how do you go about asking for a different ID? Okay, you can say this: I'm sorry, I cannot accept this. Can you provide a different ID? Okay, or another way: sir, this license is already expired. Where's the valid one? Okay, or you can also say, I'm sorry, but the writing cannot be read. Can I get any other ID? Okay, so that is how you say it when you refuse an ID and you ask for a different one. Okay, so when we talk about ID, right, I think it's also a good idea for all officers to be aware that ID is different in every country. I think you are aware of this. Okay, so let's go through some of the vocabulary which refers to the different IDs used in different countries. Okay, so some countries, most of the countries, we have passport. Okay, and some countries use government issued photo ID card. Okay, some use driving license, birth certificate, permanent residence card, social security card, medical or health card, and voter registration card. Okay, so you need to check with your department which of these documents are acceptable whenever you ask them for identification. Okay. Alright, so here I'm going to role play, okay, one easy scenario where, you know, the speaker or the person is quite a cooperative guy. Okay. So please, excuse me sir, may I have your ID? Here, this is my work permit. I'm sorry, this is not acceptable. Any other ID? How about my international driving license? Oh, this is fine. May I know why are you here alone at this hour? Maybe, you know, the area is a bit not really crowded, okay, and it's already 1 o'clock in the morning, so you are going to ask, oh, I'm waiting for my friend to pick me up. He is caught in a traffic jam. Alright, take care. Okay, so this is an easy scenario where you get cooperation from the person you're asking for the ID. What about when you are actually facing with a difficult situation, a difficult guy? Okay, so this is how you can actually go about. Excuse me sir, may I have your ID? What ID? Why do you need to see my ID? You were speeding off the limit just now. No, I was not. I'm sorry, but I will need to see your ID. Okay, so that means you have to be firm. Okay. I was just checking the speed of my new car. What's the big deal? ID please, and I will have to issue you a speeding ticket. Alright, so this is for asking for identification when dealing with driver who exceeds speed limit. Next, I'm going to show you, a sample of a video from YouTube, okay, showing a scenario where one person has actually tried to disguise as a foreigner. Okay, let's watch this together. This is actually in Ukraine. So the driver has been pulled over by a police patrol officer, and the officer is coming. So I guess this is quite typical for all of you, right? You know, when you face foreigners, they would straight away ask you whether you speak English. Okay, so now at this point you should be aware that, okay, I am actually dealing with a non-Malay speaker, so you have to be prepared to say the next thing in English.
So it's a rent car. It's a rent car. We are foreigners. Do you speak English? Stop. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you speak English? Yes, sir. What is it? You exceeded the speed limit. What kind of speed limit? 60 kilometers per hour in the limited area.
So here he is mentioning what is the speed limit for that area. Okay.
But it's a rent car. We are foreigners. Doesn't matter. Can you prove it? Can you show me your driving license? No. Can you prove it?
So he's asking, can you show me your driving license? So it's quite simple, right? Can you show me your driving license? Okay.
Yes, I've got all proofs. Please show me your driving license.
Show me your driving license.
Why should I? Show me, please, your driving license. Why? In our country, we broke the law. We don't have any kind of speed limit in our country. Come on, guys, where are you from? What's this?
See, he's getting mad. There's no country that has no speed limit, right? So these guys are trying to make a fool out of him.
Speed limit in your country? From us, from Switzerland. I don't know what's...
From Switzerland, really?
But I know, it's 50 kilometers per hour.
So this is a very clever cop. So he knows that the guys are trying to play a trick on him. So he is aware that, you know, that there's a real speed limit for Switzerland.
My driving license. Oh, Russian Federation. Welcome to Ukraine.
Alright, so it happens to be that the guys are locals. They are not actually foreigners. They're just trying to escape. Okay? Because sometimes when you have a hard situation to deal with foreigners, they can just escape. That is what they thought. Okay? So we don't want this to happen, because if this happens, right, people would say that it's okay, the police cannot speak in English, so we can just get away with our crime. Okay, so once you know the right way to ask for identification, so that would really help to increase the professionalism of this service.